What's good is Out on a Limb, hosted by me, Adam Michalesko. So I'm with iBxTheProdigy. Now, this man is really cool. He's blowing up on YouTube. You gotta go subscribe to him. He's a big Eagles fan. I reached out to him because I started watching him during quarantine and seeing, what he talks about because, he was a D1 football player, and it's really interesting, his story. So, IBX, thanks for coming on.
How we doing, man? Appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
Stupid, Lamont. Yes.
No,
That's
so
obviously.
I've heard worse, so be cool. I've heard much worse.
That's cool. But yeah, so I'd start all my podcasts. What's your song of the day? What are you vibing to?
Probably Midnight by Zanman. Do you know who Zanman is?
I do not know who that is.
Go listen to Midnight by Zanman and get back to
I
me.
will. Right after this episode, I'll pull it up. I thought you were gonna say something with Meek Mill for the Eagles.
I ain't that corny. Now I hit you with something a little different.
It's all good. I respect it. So mine, I was just vibing to it yesterday when I was going for my workout. It hit up on my mixtape for YouTube. Pursuit of Happiness by Kid Cudi. You got to listen to the classics.
That is a classic. I don't know if I could work out to that song, but it is a classic.
No, it was like a pre-workout. Like I was driving to my place and then.
Okay, no, that makes okay. Nah, I got you that time.
Yeah, no, not for the workout. Yeah, I agree. So, how's quarantine going? What have you been up to?
To be honest, I might be the only person that says this, but the quarantine is cool for me because I normally don't do too much anyways. So I just get to focus on the things I like to focus on, and I can stay to myself. So I'm having fun, and obviously I don't know how it is where you're at, but in Illinois we're about to be in quarantine for at least another month. So
oh wow,
more time to do what I've been doing.
Damn, I didn't know that yet. I live in Pennsylvania, so it's all about. I think they had it restricted until June 3rd, and then we'll revisit it and see what happens with the governor says. But yeah, that's actually pretty crazy. So you're not the first person to say that though. I know somebody else who was like quarantine's been great. Like, so Dang. You were close though. I appreciate it. You were close.
For sure.
Yeah, so you are from Illinois, like you said. So have you ever been to that silver bean sculpture?
The bean, it's in the city. I think it's crazy when you live out here, at least from my perspective, nobody really thinks about it like that. But I guess anybody that's not from here, they want to go there. But I've been there. It's just a big bean. Like it's nothing even too special or nothing too. It's just you can see yourself in the reflection, and it's just it's just a big bean, like, but I've been there, yes. It's not beating the Liberty Bell, in my opinion. I haven't been to see that. But it's cool. But I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah, that was always I was saying that thing, and I never knew like if there was like any like crazy story to it. But like you said, it's just a big bean. That's all that matters.
It really is. It's a big bean.
So you are an Eagles fan, but so have you ever been to an Eagles game then?
You're not going to believe this, but I have never been to a pro football game in my life.
Really?
Now, my dad and my mom have been to a bunch, but I've never been to one ever yet. So I'm hoping the first one I go to, the Eagles will be playing. Hopefully. I don't know when, but I got to see them at some point.
Damn, that's interesting. So you never even been to a Chicago game then?
I hate the Bears. I'm good on that. I ain't.
So the only reason why I really like the Bears is for fantasy purposes. I had David Montgomery on my team last year, so I was always rooting for him. That was pretty much
it. David Montgomery was solid. They didn't really give him the ball enough, but he was solid.
I agree. He had a good rookie year, so we'll see what happens this year. But so how'd you even become an Eagles fan then? I'm curious about that.
Because my dad is from Mississippi. He's from the same city Fletcher Cox is from. Fun fact. But they don't have a pro football team out there. So when he moved out here, basically when he was coming up, he just rocked with the Eagles. So obviously I come out, I'm going to like whatever team my dad likes because he's the biggest influence in my life at the time. So I've been an Eagles fan ever since.
No way. You gotta respect the Philly loves. That's all that matters. And you gotta come to an Eagles home Philly game. That'd be insane.
I got to, because I know if I didn't like the Eagles, I would not come anywhere near the link. But I think since I like the Eagles, I'll be okay.
You'll be welcome for sure. So I followed you on YouTube around quarantine time. I think the very first episode or video I saw was you talking about how you grew and like how you do all the stretching and whatnot. But you were around 9,000 subscribers at that point. Now you're like over 25,000. You kind of blew up really quick. How are you feeling about that?
It's something that I always believed it would happen. So it's kind of just things are falling into place, probably because now since I'm in the quarantine, I have more time to focus on it. But a lot of people have been coming through since then. And then what happens is they see that and then they go and watch everything else. And it's like they're kind of caught up to speed. So that's kind of what's happening. But it's a blessing. I'm happy about it. I'm saying no complaints. We got a little bit more work to do.
Yeah, and congrats to that. That's really cool. So like what's the feeling of it like growing now? Like I mean, it's at the point where, you're always gonna get like a new subscriber. Like it's not just, dead. You know what I mean? Like there's not just gonna be a pause period. It's pretty much always gonna be growing now.
Really, I don't even pay attention to it as much as people would think. Like I said, I always say my goal is to hit 100K at the end of the year. But I know if I focus on it too much, I'll lose track of what I'm trying to do. So as long as I'm just trying to make sure the people that are with me now, I'm staying true to myself and doing what I need to do to keep going. So I don't really pay attention to the numbers as most people would think, but it's still good. It's still a blessing nonetheless.
So when did you start your channel? What kind of motivated you to get into that?
I think I started when I was a freshman in college. So probably 2016, like in December, but I wasn't posting too consistent because obviously I was playing football at the time, so I didn't have a lot of time. And I initially started off just posting like gaming videos because I like to play video games. So I was posting a lot of like 2K videos mainly. A lot of people don't know, if you look up like old 2K montages, I have like the most viewed ones on the platform, I think from like 2K18, 19. So I was mainly posting that. Then I started posting like vlogs, just stuff I was doing in college. And then I posted some day in the life videos just from the routine of being an athlete. And then overall, I just started posting more stuff after that. It was more of a side thing whenever I had the time.
That's really cool. So, I mean, it was like a process and and then it started gaining traction little by little, but that's really cool. So, I mean, you always hear that from, YouTubers like on their vlogs or whatnot, like, they just started, just posting and then eventually one video finally blew up. And then, like you said, it's like a trickle effect. Like they have to watch every episode, then, get a subscriber.
The vlogs are really, really funny. It's just that the quality is not as good because I had a different camera, but there's so many funny things. If you would just go back and watch those vlogs, a lot of people would like them. I remember I did a vlog when the Patriots came back against the Falcons, and that whole vlog, like that whole day, it was just a funny day. So I have it. I think it's still in the playlist, and I might take them down at some point. So I recommend people go watch them while they can because they're very funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that afterwards. I mean, and then there's other YouTubers who, were D1 football players. Like, I don't know, Michael Pittman, he has a YouTube channel. There's a couple like, people who played D1 football who are doing that. So I think that's it's a really cool experience to see, what it's like, a day in the life type of thing.
Right. I think it's a lot of people that are doing it. Not as many as it could be, but it's a cool thing for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for real. So how do you think of your content? Like, is it based off, just people asking you, what's up, or do you just think of stuff that you think would be interesting to people?
It's a little bit of everything. So I'll ask people what they want to see, and at the same time, I'll have ideas of my own. I try to put them together to the point where they can reach the most people. So if there's a video that I want to do and then it's highly requested, those are the ones that are top priority. But if I have a video and I think it can reach more people, I'll focus on those first. It just all depends on what the people want to see.
Okay, so when you make your videos, then it's mainly, you just talking. Like, did you have like something? Do you have like little bullet points to like hit on, or do you just think of it and it's all coming from the heart?
Honestly, it depends. It's probably, I think I have almost 200 videos, and there might be maybe 1 to 2 videos where I've written down things I need to say. Everything else is just off the top because I do a lot of talking. It's just fortunate enough that I can put it together well enough that people care to listen to me. But I do a lot of talking, so it's natural.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Quick break. What's the background? Is that just a random piece of art?
Just some trippy stuff. I mean, nothing too crazy. It's not even my room, to be honest, so I will not take credit for the design.
Hey, well, we'll accept it. We'll say it's yours for right now.
You know, if I'd have been in my crib, you would have seen the Eagle stuff right behind me. I would have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
matching the energy.
That's what I thought was gonna happen. You were gonna be matching it. That's hilarious. So, so you talk a lot of football on your channel. When did you start getting into football?
I played. Most people don't really believe me, but I played flag football once when I was 8, and then I played tackle the next year when I was 9, and I didn't play again until I was a sophomore. I was like 14, and then I
Really?
just played from then on. So most people they play from like the age of 4 and then on out, but I wasn't like that.
Were you didn't want to get hurt, or you just weren't interested in playing?
When I was a kid, I just used to play Call of Duty all the time. I was really like lazy, like fat kid, so I never even cared about playing football until I started playing once when I was like 8, and I realized I was really good at it. I was like, it would be a shame not to keep playing because I was good at it. Then my freshman year, I just didn't play. I didn't really care. Then my sophomore year, that's when it kind of got serious.
So, in the high school aspect, then when you're like learning all this, then was it? Were you into it then? Like, were you like, oh, this could be, a big thing for me in life?
My sophomore year, I mainly played just because my friends played, and I still
Mhm.
had fun. Football, especially back then when you're playing with all your best friends, is very fun. So I had a lot of fun then. My junior year was probably my hardest year because I had a lot of ups and downs that year. But at that point, I was playing because I was serious about moving to the next level. And then senior year was like locked in at that point.
That's really cool. So, when you're when so I had someone else on this podcast. Eventually, or after this, I know you like to have surprises. So you didn't watch any of my videos before. So, I think it's episode 6. It's with my friend Hunter Kelly. He's also an offensive lineman, and I was telling him about you even before I asked you to do the podcast. It was kind of like interesting to hear his story, like how he finally made it where he into college and whatnot, because he played at Penn State and now he's transferring out of there and going to somewhere else. But with you, when did you first start getting traction with college coaches?
But beforehand, so you said I was mentioned in that video because I'll go watch it. I didn't know that. I should have watched it before. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
I think I asked him be off the podcast. I just talked to him personally because he's a
Oh,
good
for sure.
friend of
Okay.
mine. Yeah. So, but he was telling me like with his story how he grew up, high school, and he was saying like it didn't really start until his junior year when he started like getting traction. But for you personally, when did you start getting like notice?
Like I said in the previous videos, my junior year, I didn't even play until like week 5. So once I started playing, then I was I was getting a lot of looks from all different levels because it went from nobody knowing me to I'm on the scene. So there was D1 schools to NAI, a whole bunch of different schools. So it was like you're getting to the point where you're getting pulled out of class almost every day, multiple times a day. And that started mainly my junior year.
Was that like a little bit of a distraction with school, or was it like kind of a cool feeling in a way?
It was a little bit of both. A lot of times I was lucky because I would get pulled out of the classes I hated. So like I hated math class, and a lot of times they would take me out of math. So I was all for it. But
You were like, thank you.
of course, my grade didn't reflect it, but I was thankful inside.
That's funny. So, when did you get your first offer then? When you started playing when in high school?
It was in November of my senior year. So like I said, I only played like 4 games my junior year. So all the coaches would kind of tell me the same thing. They're just like, we need to see more because there was only like 4 games of film I had. So then senior year after that season, I believe I got my first offer sometime in November, and then I got like 10 straight in like a week. Something
Jeez.
crazy.
What was that feeling like when you start getting these offers? You were like, this hard work starting to pay off.
Yeah, it was. I was happy, but I knew the job wasn't done because you can still get a bunch of offers, but if you don't find the place you want to go, then it doesn't really mean much. So I was proud, I was happy, but I wasn't content because I knew until I'm signed, it's not done yet.
So, were you doing a lot of visits then? Or were you like kind of focused on one school?
That's like I said this a bunch of times too. That's probably the biggest mistake I made. I only took one visit, and I was playing like I was playing the game and I really ended up losing the game. I got so focused on just getting as many offers as I can. I never took the time to pay attention to each school, you know what I mean? Which I recommend nobody do. I was very stupid in doing that. So then it got to a point where I took my one visit and I had to commit to that one school because I went about the process the wrong way.
Oh, that's interesting. And I mean, it's so new. So I mean, everything happens for a reason, though. And I mean, now you're here, so it's you know, you're following your own path, which is really cool. So when you first got to college, then this is where it was really interesting with your videos, talking about like, you know, how you had, you know, love for the game, but you weren't, you know, getting enough playing time, and then you eventually were, and then you kind of just stopped. So when you got to school, what was the mindset like? Were you thinking, you know, this could be, you know, a big thing for me, like possibly, you know, going professional?
When I first got there, that was the goal. But when I made sure before I got there to not really think too much about it, because I knew I was going in at 17 and I was about to be a bunch of grown men in a place that I never been. So I was very quiet and to myself, just trying to trying to learn the tricks and the tips and learn everything I needed to learn. So when I first got there, it was a goal that I had, but I knew I had to be there at least 3 years to even get there. So that wasn't my main priority when I first got there, if that makes sense.
So for this podcast, could you say what college you went to then?
Yeah, for sure. I went to Missouri State. It's in Springfield.
Okay. So I know this video is pretty funny. Made me laugh talking about how athletes, you know, with the, you know, with the ladies in college, like how people, how, I mean, I
Right.
guess your summary or
Basically
your
how they
summary.
treat you in college, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
How was so was that a good feeling though? I mean, it had to be a cool feeling, like, you know, you repping, you're an athlete and whatnot.
I mean, it is and it's not. It more depends on the type of person you were. So I was so determined on something that I didn't really pay much attention. But if you go to school and that's what you're looking for, then you'll be very pleased because it's there. But me personally, I wasn't focused too much on it, which made it kind of harder because it brought them to me more because I didn't really care about them. That's kind of
Mm,
how it goes. But
that's interesting. So now was handling academics and then sports kind of hard at times?
if you, it's all about time management. That's one thing I really enjoyed about being in college. The schedule you had, there really is no excuse to not get your schoolwork done unless you just choose to. So when you first get there, we had they would say you had to go to study hall, I think 8 hours a week. Everybody 8 hours a week. And then if your grades are good, they chop it down. If your grades are bad, they add more hours. So you start off at 8 hours a week. And I would go into my advisor's office, and her name is Carla, one of the sweetest ladies I ever met. I would just sit in her office and do my work every day so I wouldn't get distracted. As soon as I do my work, I would leave. And then eventually, once I was on the honor roll, like my freshman year, I didn't have to go to study hall anymore. But you have some people that'll be in there 20 hours a week because they mess around. But there's no excuse. Once you go in there, everything's aligned for you to succeed. You just have to stay on the path.
That's really interesting. So with college then, and I'm not gonna have you explain like the whole process as to why you quit, but because I mean you kind of explained that in one of your videos, so people can go watch that.
Yeah, I'll do another one on that one. I plan on doing another one probably soon because a lot of people that are new, they ask the same questions. And I think since it's the quarantine, most people have too much time on their hands. So I'll probably make one like 30, 40 minutes, like almost like a movie. But I'll probably do
Wow.
that one soon.
So it's gonna be pretty detailed then. So
Right.
for this podcast though, is there an easy way to summarize like why you ultimately decided to stop playing football then?
Um, basically to sum it up, I believe me and my head coach were on two different paths. I believe my head coach, he was a Marine. He was a very stern type of guy. He ran things, say like a Belichick, right? And I would have no problem playing under Coach Belichick or under that type of way, you know, like a kind of robotic type of path. But some of the decisions that the coaches made, a lot of plays or the depth chart, the things they did, it didn't translate to winning. So if you're going to tell me I need to go follow these things, do these things this strict and this manner, it should at least translate to wins. So in my position, I was on the honor roll every day, when in the weight room, I'm PR, and I'm doing everything I need to do. My teammates respect me. Everybody knows my talent level, but it's just one man that I can't conquer. You get what I'm saying? And he has the power to decide everything. So eventually I tried to transfer, which everybody knows. And there's only one place I wanted to go, but it was in our conference. So he would not let me, because from his perspective, I totally understand it, because why would he let me go to somebody that he has to play me 4 years straight? He wouldn't want to do that. So it was either leave or basically give my dignity up to stay under a man that I didn't want to play for anyways. So I left on that note.
And that's a hard thing to do. Like, so I played baseball, and it definitely was really hard. With high school growing up, like it was always about who you had to know to play type of thing, and it kind of was very frustrating. And then got to college and it got way better. But then it's hard, like leaving a game that you ultimately love and what you're focusing on. So when you kind of made that decision, was it hard for you?
I cried like a baby for like a week. like a baby, I cried for like a week. But other than that, I remember the day I couldn't, like I said, there's videos on all this stuff. I couldn't stop crying. I remember I was walking home and I was with one of my teammates, and I don't like crying in front of people. And I was crying in front of him, and it made me even more mad. I'm like, why am I crying in front of him? But I couldn't stop crying. So I was sad for a couple weeks. I was definitely sad, but eventually, life waits for nobody, so you got to move on.
So that was the mindset at that point. Like, because I'm sure you had to miss your teammates and whatnot it's really hard. So, was that the moment where you're like, new mindset, got to roll and pursue something else?
I mean, I knew I had a plan before I left, and I always have a feeling no matter what I do, I believe I'll succeed. So I knew I didn't need to play football in order to succeed. I knew football didn't define me. So I knew I would be able to leave and be okay. But it's still a big step to take, because I knew I was 2 years away from millions of dollars. That was kind of the hardest part about it. But I believe I can achieve that either way. Just a different route I got to take now.
So have you ever reached out or talked to that coach ever since you left? Have you ever reached out to him?
No, I have never talked to him since. I almost went to one of the games, but I ended up not going. I don't really think we have anything to talk about. My position coach, which is my favorite coach ever, he was still reaching out to me like months after I left, just in case I changed my mind. He was the best coach I ever had. So I've still talked to him, and I still talk to almost all my teammates, especially in my class, which a lot of people don't believe, but I talked to almost all of them. Most of them were applauding when I left. And when I left, almost 20 people left after that. So
wow. So
I
you
was just
kind of
like
were
the first domino to fall.
Yeah, for real. So was this pre-transfer portal then when you left, or was it just start of transfer portal?
I never even knew anything about it. So I would have to say pre. I have no idea, to be honest. I never even knew what that was. Nah, it could have been alive and they just didn't tell me. I have no idea.
That's interesting. So so I guess we'll switch bases now. So we're gonna talk about the Eagles, just because I know you're a huge Eagles fan. So who's your favorite player on the Eagles?
Right now, probably Carson Wentz or Fletcher Cox. You can't go wrong with either one of them.
No, you can't. So when they won the Super Bowl, did you kind of cry like a baby? I did.
Cried. I think I still have the video up that day. I cried like a baby. I cried the whole night because I didn't believe it. Like I was crying the whole day. I felt like I was there and I wasn't even there.
I was gonna ask you if you were at the parade, but you said you weren't even you haven't been in Philly, so I guess you weren't at the parade then.
I gotta get there.
So when I went, I went to the parade. It was really cool. That's all I'll really remember about that, because that was the year that Bud Light said they'll give out free beers if they won, and so I feel like a lot of people were there for that reason, which kind of was annoying, because then you got some idiots who were just getting trashed and not caring about anything else. So it was hard to. What?
Yeah, Philly fans are already reckless, but you get them drunk, so it's probably even crazier. But I think Philly's gonna win again this year, so I'll pull up to that parade. I'll be there for this one.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what you thought about that, because after that parade, it was really cool. And then listening to the speeches and whatnot, because I was right by the steps when that happened, so it was really neat. But the year after didn't fall, exactly into place. And then, this past season, I thought we were going to make a run, and then, Wentz got hit and kind of ended that route again. So, but this year, I'm really excited about, when they play. I just think it's a whole different team they have.
I mean, I feel the same way about the Eagles I have every year. Literally their only problem is health. And I know they changed their doctors, they changed their medical staff. To me, if the Eagles were just healthy, we would have been like back-to-back champs. So that's all I'm worried about is good health. And with the Eagles, that's like their biggest Achilles heel. So if we stay healthy, I don't think anybody can really mess with us. But that's the biggest problem. So you got to keep your fingers crossed on that.
I completely agree. It's funny. My friends make fun of me every year because I always say, "Oh, we're gonna win the Super Bowl," because we have like such a good history of making the playoffs, and then there's a chance, always a chance to go to that Super Bowl. But I mean, I'm a huge Wentz fan as well. But a lot of people always say, he's injury prone, and that gets me so frustrated. Like I feel like he's a great player. I mean, I feel like the injuries might be done after this.
Yeah, that's all I can hope for. Especially, I like him, especially because he played in my conference. But a lot of people hate on him just for that. But if he stays healthy, he's going to be a problem. That's the one thing I hate about when I left college, because I left that year, and I remember I think the Eagles might have started off like 4-0, and we lost to the Chiefs, something like that. And I was running my mouth before the season started. I was like, "We're going to win the Super Bowl," and everybody was talking to me like I was crazy, but I wasn't there to be able to brag in the glory because I was home at that point.
Oh.
But I'm mad I missed that one because I was telling them the whole year.
Yeah, it was. I believe they won the first game, lost to the Chiefs the second week, and then they just went on a big run. So they went 13-3 that year. So that was pretty cool. But how are you feeling about our draft this year? Did you like it?
When I was watching it live, I was upset because the first round I wanted us to pick CeeDee Lamb or Kenneth Murray. That's who I personally wanted. And then when we didn't get them, I wasn't really mad. I was just bothered at the fact that we let CD go to Dallas. But overall, I'm happy with it. I think we filled in a lot of holes that we needed. And if CD wouldn't have went to the Cowboys, I definitely wouldn't have no problems.
Yeah, I agree. I thought we might have traded up. I'm actually fine with how we didn't trade up. We had so many picks to possibly choose, but I like Jalen Reagor. I like the fact he's a sleeper. In the draft. I mean, probably a lot of people don't think he was a first rounder at all, but I just like the fact that it's that underdog, spirit, and that's mainly what the Eagles are all about.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's just when the Cowboys were up, I was like, man, I know they're not going to do what I think they're about to do. And then they did it, and I was.
You were like, forget about it.
Yeah, I was sitting in the corner.
Well, my mindset is when they did that, I heard a report that they weren't even looking at CeeDee Lamb. I feel like they just took him because we took Dallas Goedert, in the previous draft.
It's because in all the mocks, they didn't expect him to fall that far. So it was almost like he probably was a top 5 player talent-wise on their board, but nobody expected him to be all the way at like 17. So it was like, we got to take him.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. I mean, it's going to be a problem, I think. But I like the fact that we got Darius Slay in the offseason. We got Coleman, who's another corner. We'll see how he does. But I like our defense in this. I feel like the defense finally might wake up this year. If we get another big linebacker, I like it.
The only thing is in our scheme, we never really respect linebackers. And I'm sad we lost Malcolm Jenkins, but I think we'll be fine. The biggest thing is our D-line has to go back to playing how they normally can. And I think we have some more people, especially Malik Jackson will come back. So we should be back to normal. And now we have better DBs, which only make the D-line even better. So we should be solid.
Yeah, and you're not wrong with the linebacker thing. I mean, the closest thing to finding a good linebacker we had recently was, in my opinion, Jordan Hicks. And I mean, I also like Nigel Brown and whatnot, but I mean, Jordan Hicks obviously not here anymore, and he was always
saying, Jordan Hicks was always hurt. And they're saying Nigel Bradham, we might bring him back, just like Jason Peters. But TJ Edwards is actually really good. I know he didn't miss a single tackle last year. I think he's pretty good too. So he'll probably start this year if we don't bring Bradham back.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what we do. And then also, I really wish we would have got Yannick Ngakwe. I think
it's still not over. It's still possible.
It's still possible. I feel like the conversations might have died. I haven't heard much about it, but there's always behind the scenes stuff that we have no idea about.
Yeah, let's because the Jaguars are probably asking for too much, but it seems
Oh,
like he wants to
100%.
be in Philly, so he'll get there at some point. Some way,
Yeah,
somehow, he'll be there.
and if we get him, I mean that D line is going to be overkill in a way. Now,
100%.
Now, when you so you played football obviously, and then when you watch games, is it easier? Like me, I just watch the game and I don't know obviously all the plays and whatnot because I never played football. Always wish I had when I was younger. But when you watch it, is it like a different mindset? Like what's coming, like when blitzes are coming or what coverage they're in or what you look for as an offensive lineman?
Yeah, and I wish they had a camera where it was faced the other way. So like I hate the camera that they use from the sideway angle. And I know they do it for like suspense, for example, because like you throw a deep ball on that camera and you don't know what's going on. But when I watch it, I'm looking at all different types of things. I'm more of a fan of people that like to run their mouth. So I'm reading people's lips, like I'm listening to audio. I'm paying attention to a lot of different things for sure that the average person wouldn't see. But like I said, I can tell most of the time what plays are coming, just all situational stuff, just stuff I've learned over the years.
When you were playing in college, what was your offense? Was it like a West Coast offense or was it different?
We had a little bit of everything, to be honest. Basically, my second year, we did a lot of read option, a lot of RPOs. First year was more West Coast, but we had a lot of interchangeable parts. So that's kind of why. So we did a lot of different things.
So I know you made a video about this on YouTube. I'll come back to the Eagle stuff in a little bit, but I know you made a video on this on YouTube. Is there ever a chance of you possibly coming back or like trying out for the NFL in a way?
One goal I have set in mind, I believe, when I get big enough, I will definitely go try out for the Birds. Just because it's like a bucket list thing. I don't know. I feel like the world we live in, if you have a big enough audience, like a big enough social media presence, you can really do anything. So I feel like once I get big enough, I'll go try out for the Eagles. And even if I believe bare minimum I can be good enough to even be on the practice squad, they don't even have to play me. Just let me get a jersey, let me stand on the sideline, and I'll be cool. But it's probably the only thing I'll be looking forward to doing for sure. And people ask me about that all the time.
How do you go about that process? I'm sure you heard about that Browns player last year. I forget his name, but he kind of was just traveling, from little football areas and whatnot. And he made it to the practice squad, but never, made it to the team. But how do you go about that process of trying out?
I mean, I feel like every team has, in my opinion, tryouts at some point. But like I said,
Mm-hmm.
the vision I have in my head, I have a big enough audience to the point where I can't be denied. Like they'll know who I am at that point, and I'll be able to get in contact with the right people to go ahead and go for it.
Yeah, and you never know who's watching your channel. You
Right.
never know who someone might come out. So who's
Right.
your favorite offensive lineman on the Eagles then?
Definitely Peters.
Peters
Definitely.
is an animal. I'm happy
Definitely.
we got him back this year. He's definitely slowing down a little bit, but he's so powerful. It's almost overkill all the time he's going at people.
Hey, Lane, if you end up coming on the next one, I'm sorry. I apologize in advance, but I had to say Peters. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got if Lane Johnson comes on this because I like I told you were before this I did reach out to him and like my friend Hunter knows him, so who knows, but I would definitely love to have you on that episode. That'd be really cool, talking and whatnot. He seems like such a cool guy. He has like his own little mini podcast, I guess. It's called Outside the Lane. That's why I started watching
That's
him.
decent. Yeah, I like Lane. He's a cool dude.
So what was so off on the offensive line? What was like? Were you like left tackle, left guard, right tackle, right guard?
I played everything but center, and
Okay.
I just never wanted to play center, but I was able to move around and play anything.
Was it fun to kind of, you know, stop people from hitting your quarterback? Like I bet there's a lot of shit talking going on there.
I mean, most people I do. It's hard to explain. Kind of the way I play, it depends on who I'm playing against. So I don't talk to everybody, but I talk enough at the same time. So it's a lot of fun because it's more mental warfare to me than physical warfare. A lot of people think when you play O-line, you're like a meathead and you're just trying to maul people. But I don't really play like that. I'm more up here. So I'm trying to beat you up here and then everything else will just go natural.
That's interesting. So when people are, trying to talk and whatnot, you kind of just keep quiet and let yourself do the talking.
I don't know. If somebody talk to me, I'm talking back. But normally, more often than not, I would initiate it. But some people I don't even need to. It just all depends on the flow of the game. I'll even
That's
talk
interesting.
to a ref. It just depends how I'm feeling.
That's really cool. So how do you think the Eagles are going to do this season? I mean, you just said that you think they're going to win a Super Bowl, but record-wise, how do you think they're going to go?
I actually tweeted and I forgot what they said. I think being modest, easily we're a double-digit win team. And the thing about the Eagles, there's like games where you think they should easily win and they lose, and then there's games that you think that they'll lose that they end up winning. So it's like I would say anywhere between 11-5 and like a 13-3 type of season.
That's
Bare
exactly what I
minimum
was thinking.
9-7, 10-6, but somewhere in that range.
That's exactly what I was thinking. 11-5. I mean, we lost to the freaking Dolphins last year. I mean, anything's possible at that
And it's crazy.
point.
That was the week of my birthday, and my dad was like, "Do you want to go to this game?" And I'm so glad that I didn't go because if my first
Oh,
ever Eagles
dude,
game they would have lost, say goodbye.
that would have been I don't know if I want to be a fan of this team anymore moment.
Yeah, I would have been sick.
Dude, there was a punt. What was it? A punter passed the ball for a touchdown.
Yeah, and then you guys are so blessed, and you probably don't even realize it because you guys are in the States, so you guys can watch every game. Every week they're showing the Packers, the Vikings, the Bears, the Lions. There's a whole bunch of teams I never want to see, and I have to just sit on my phone to watch the Eagles. And you
I was
do
gonna
all that for
ask.
them to lose
Yeah.
a game like that. It's tough.
Yeah, because that was my worry. So in the event with my major, if I'm able to travel and whatnot, I was thinking, how am I going to watch the Eagles? Like you are right, we are blessed to the point where we can watch any Eagles game pretty much because it's regional. But how do you watch your games? It's just strictly on the phone.
Yeah, there's a site that I use, and they have literally all the sports events. So I just use that, and that's how I typically watch the game. So I can plug you up if you need me to at some point. I
Yeah,
got you.
I'm definitely gonna need you to send me that link because I'm kind of worried about that. I don't want to buy the NFL Game Pass, but we'll keep that
I got you.
quiet.
I got you.
How did you find it? Just by looking up random sites and whatnot?
Yes, because mainly I would look up stuff to watch like MMA because I'm really big on MMA, and
Me
then I
too. Yeah.
found one that had everything. So I was like, I keep that in mind.
So you're a big MMA guy as well. Who's your favorite fighter?
Habib, no question about it.
Really?
That's my guy.
Here you go. I don't know if you see that wallpaper in the back. That's when he
No, I
fought
see it.
McGregor. Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Whose side were you on?
Oh man, you're gonna hate me, but I was choosing McGregor on that. The only reason why I like McGregor is just because I love how he runs his mouth. Like I'm not about doing that all the time, but it's just so like he knows how to promote himself, and I'm so about it. But I'm not gonna lie, I did like Habib. I think he is an absolute stud. I mean, the dude's 27-0, 28-0. Like
He might
he's
be
that.
29 now. I think next fight will be 30. But yeah, I get that
Yeah.
McGregor. I like the way McGregor talks too. He can sell a fight, but just now, I've never thought that highly of McGregor as far as a fighter, and he doesn't back it up as much as he used to. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when he fought Cerrone, that was good for him, but a
Oof.
lot of people they don't really respect him anymore. So it's kind of like he's swinging at the air at this point. But now I
Yeah.
don't even know when Habib will fight again because now his dad just got the coronavirus, so we might not see Habib for a long time.
Yeah, it's crazy because he was just supposed to fight Tony Ferguson, and then the Tony Ferguson fight was insane because he lost. Man, like what? Like that was mind blowing. Did you watch that fight?
I seen bits and pieces, but from what I saw, Tony was not a good day for him. And I respect him for taking the fight, but he should have never took the fight. He had nothing to gain, everything to lose.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely a weird time, and now he's not even going to be in line for the Habib fight. I watched it, but I illegally streamed it as well. Keep that quiet. I'll send you. I'll tell you what I did. I mean,
For
it's
sure.
actually really. I'll just tell you right now. I mean, it's not nothing special. There's an app called Periscope where everyone just like live stream stuff.
And the thing
Uh,
about Periscope, people get shut down so quick.
that's
Like you have
exactly
to
what
just bounce
happens.
from one to one to one.
Hmm. Yeah, so it was a thing when I used to watch them without going to Buffalo Wild Wings or somewhere where they're gonna pay or stream it. you're right. It does get taken down quick. So a lot of these people who are streaming, they're like, "Yo, don't like my stuff. Just watch it." Like that's the only way you're going to be able to watch it.
They don't want to get caught up for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yeah. So you watched? Did you watch the McGregor fight then when he beat Cerrone?
Yeah, I saw that because I'm a fan of Cerrone too. And the thing, Cerrone, it's like in the biggest fights, it's like he doesn't show up, and I was so mad. But McGregor came out and was on him like somebody slapped his mom. So that's all credit to him. He came out and got that one out.
Man, he's literally a man on a mission. Like that face he had, it's just so focused. I really honestly feel like it's gonna be a new McGregor. Like he's calling it a season this year. Now he was supposed to, fight. Like he wanted to fight like right away, but I don't think he ever really found that fight. But now he's going after, Justin Gaethje, who just beat Tony Ferguson.
Yeah. And Gaethje said he's not even gonna fight him. So
yeah. The McGregor's mainly going after him because apparently Gaethje called him a bad father at one point.
I remember that when McGregor was doing, like, when he punched a man and all that type of stuff, Gaethje was running his mouth. But now Gaethje said he won't even fight Conor. So if I was Conor, I would try to go after probably Tony and then just try to get the winner of Gaethje and Khabib. But we'll see.
Did you ever think about UFC fighting? Did you ever think about getting into MMA?
Yes, and the thing is, when I played football, I messed up both of my shoulders and I messed up my sternum. So that's like the worst thing to mess up when it comes to fighting. That's really the only reason why I haven't done it. But I would if I could.
Yeah, because I mean that stuff is interesting. I don't know if I'll ever get in the ring. Who knows? But did you ever with your workouts for football? Did you ever like consider CrossFit at all? Like trying that stuff out?
No, they never had us do it. I'm sure in our workouts we've taken bits and pieces from it, but never full on just strictly something in that field. So I've never done it personally, but to each his own.
Yeah, because I lift and whatnot, but I also like to do a lot of CrossFit. It gets me. I like that a lot. My teacher though, the guy who essentially my coach for that, he was telling me like because he had an NFL player come back a while back, and because he was talking about how his shoulders were messed up throughout workouts throughout his years in the NFL, and my teacher was showing him like a CrossFit move to work out the shoulders. And he said the guy was just mind blowing. He was like, no one ever taught us that stuff. It was always about how heavy you can lift. Like he never thought about different motions and different equipment to use to help, your body.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people, they think strength is like the end all be all, but I know that's not the case.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's what I was thinking, with MMA, it's all about, cardio, how your stamina, how fast you're gonna go.
Precision, timing, a lot of things. Because really, just to knock someone out, for example, it's really not about strength. It's like you're using their own momentum against them. You just have to catch them and hit them at the right spot at the right time. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's all interesting stuff. I learned jujitsu once when I was in school. I went to like a little seminar about it, and like I was performing it and whatnot. So when I watch MMA fights now, and they're like on the ground and they do like little jujitsu, I'm like, whoa, I get it now. So it was it's definitely
it's like what you were asking me about football now. It's like now when I watch the game, it's like I kind of know what's coming. Same thing like if you were to do jiu-jitsu and you see them actually implement it.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking when I asked you that question because it's pretty interesting. Now I'm no expert at all. I don't even have like I just did it a couple of times, but it's so interesting now. So are you always gonna ride with Khabib, or are you ever gonna ride with McGregor?
Khabib for sure, but right now I'm gonna be very sad because Khabib is my favorite athlete besides LeBron, and they're both probably gonna retire around the same time because they both probably got, I would say, maybe 2-3 more years tops, and they'll probably both be out the game. So I'm gonna cry a lot when that happens, but I'm Team Khabib until he's out of there.
Yeah, and hopefully his dad, prayed for him to have a healthy recovery. But with LeBron, I think I heard something where he wants to stay until his son gets in the league, so he can play with him a year. That's what he was thinking about.
I wouldn't bet against it. He has to do his sophomore year, junior year, senior year. By the time he's a senior, they'll probably let players go straight to the league out of high school. So I say bare minimum 3 more seasons.
Yeah. So did you watch that Last Dance documentary at all?
Actually, I didn't watch a lick of it. Not a
Really?
second. Not a second.
That's
Not a
interesting.
second.
Because that whole thing was pretty interesting, and I just did an episode on that. And now that'll air when I put out all these other videos. But with that, like I'm a huge Jordan fan, even though I never really watched him growing up.
Right.
So who do you think is better than LeBron or Jordan?
Is that a rhetorical question?
No, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
James, no question.
My
Easily.
my my friend
No
would love you
question.
for that. My friend would love you for that.
I don't know who your friend is, but shout out to him.
his
Easily.
name's his name's Dylan Mel. He was on that episode. He's a huge LeBron fan, but
Smart man.
I respect LeBron. I mean, he's a hell of a player, but I don't know. I just always just like the idea of Jordan. You know, nothing against LeBron.
For sure. No
Now,
problem.
would you have liked LeBron if because there was a report that the Cowboys offered him a contract in 2011. So if he was to play for the Cowboys, would you still like LeBron?
Yep. I
No,
know
no
that.
question.
I think Pete Carroll tried to get him to go to the Seahawks too. Man. No question. Because sure, they would have LeBron, but you know LeBron's favorite player is Carson Wentz, from what I
Yeah.
understand. So he's still cool with me. Cool. LeBron go out there and go lose some games. Cool.
Now, I know you like the Eagles. Are you an old Philly fan then, or do you have different
No,
teams?
I'm all over the place. So football, I like the Eagles, and basketball, I like the Knicks. I'm not gonna say that too loud, but I like the Knicks and wherever
Really?
LeBron is at. So when the Knicks are bad, I'm rooting for LeBron. So I'm rooting for LeBron right now and the Eagles.
No way. So, do you watch baseball or hockey at all?
Um, kind of. I'm a big fan of Sidney Crosby. I like Sidney Crosby. And as far as baseball, I can really only watch like home runs or like
Okay.
no hitters, that type of stuff. I couldn't just sit and watch a baseball game,
Hmm.
but anything that's high action in baseball, I can watch that.
Okay. Yeah, and if there's a brawl that on the field, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
taking
with that.
UFC right there in baseball.
I'm 100%. I'm with that.
That's hilarious. So, do you know the YouTuber Destroying Then? Did you ever hear of
Um,
him?
yes, I know of him. I know I was hearing about his story, and while his situation was going on, I was in school making videos at that time.
Hmm.
But fun fact, I know we do have the same birthday, so it's ironic that we're kind of on
No
similar
way.
paths, but just on two different sides.
That's interesting. Yeah, because when I heard about your story and whatnot, that was instantly the first guy I thought of because of what his story is. And for people who don't know, he was a UFC kicker or UCF kicker. Was killing it. And then NCAA kind of said it's either YouTube or football, and he chose the YouTube route. And he's making a decent living off it now. And I know he used to be friends with Antonio Brown, but he's no longer friends with him after I guess Antonio kind of cut him out of his life type of thing.
Yeah, I remember. I think one of the problems was he was doing like a giveaway of like his own gear and like
Hmm.
that type of stuff. I know is not allowed. So I think he was doing a lot of things like that that really aren't legal. And then obviously everything else kind of steamrolled from that point.
Yeah, so I mean, his videos are interesting because I know he's been trying to get in the NFL as well because he's he's a pretty hell of a good kicker. He's always posting stuff on that. So maybe I'll reach out to him and we can get an episode going with him, me, you, and him.
And go for it. Like I said,
That'd be really cool.
I wish him nothing but the best and nothing but success.
That'd be so interesting. So I want to hit on one of your more popular videos, in my opinion, with the what made you starting to grow taller and whatnot. When did you start thinking about the stretching would lead to growing taller?
It's mainly when I was really focused on football because I had to make sure I had all the boxes checked. You know, there's kind of things that you need to have in order to get to the highest level possible, and height was one of those things. So I was just looking for anything to help put me over the top.
So did you because I've done it. I've been doing it every night. I haven't been as consistent with it. Like I would take like a night or two off, and so I get worried that and I don't know. Who knows if I'm still growing or whatnot. I mean, we're both at that age that you never know if you're gonna grow or whatnot. But do you still do it now, stretching at night?
I stretch, but not for that purpose, just overall because it makes me feel better. But I'm not stretching to grow, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not really a priority of mine now, but it's just overall because it's a healthy thing to do.
So you said in order to get back into football, you wanted to gain more weight and whatnot. So how are you? Did you did you take away from football like a healthy diet that you follow?
Uh, to be honest, to take away from football as a diet, nah, because when you're actually playing, most people eat whatever they want. I just ended up going on a diet at some point during my second season because, like I said, when it came to growing, I was just checking off all the boxes. So I was like, I need to make sure I have everything in order so when it's my time, I can go ahead and perform the best that I'm capable of. So I just switched my diet in general so I was in prime condition for when the time so I could go ahead and do what I had to do.
Okay, so what made you kind of tell your story about the growing taller episodes? Did you think did people ask you about that, or did you kind of decide it was really cool?
It was a bunch of people that asked, and the funny thing is, people have been asking me that for like years now, and I would always say I would do it, and then I would forget. So I was like, let me just finally do it. And it's ironic because there's some videos that I would make, and they're like, I don't think this one's gonna do that well. And there's some videos I make where I'm like, I know this one's gonna do well. So you know how with I don't know if you're familiar with YouTube and kind of the way they do things, but just to place ads on a video, for example, they have to be 10 minutes. I don't know
Hmm.
if you, so
Yeah.
it's funny because I've done this multiple times and people in the comment section, they'll applaud me for it and laugh at me for it at the same time. On that video in particular, it's probably at like a 500,000 views and I made the video 9 minutes and 59 seconds. So I probably missed out on like thousands of dollars. It happens to me more often than you would think. Just because I didn't even think the video would do as well as it did, which I should have known. But I was 1 second off.
Damn, that's
So
crazy. Maybe you should reach out to YouTube and be like, "Yo, it's 1 second. Give me a break."
I'm cool. That's cool though, because it's not about the money. So I'm cool. That's just something I laugh at in the back of my head because I've done it
Yeah.
multiple times.
So before we dive into like the last part of questions, just an off record, are you into fantasy football at all?
Um, so like all my friends will ask me, who they should pick, et cetera, et cetera. But I haven't had my own team in some years, but I think it's cool. Like I'm familiar with the concept.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I you might think I'm crazy for this, but I was just telling my friend in my league this year, I'm really thinking about taking Miles Sanders my first round this year for the Eagles. There's out of 12 teams on.
Um, God, hey,
Hear me out. So there's 12 teams in this league, right? It's very competitive.
right.
We every year it's got randomized, and this year I'm number 10. So all the top players, are taken, and then by the time I've been doing this couple mock drafts, and by the time it gets to me, it's either Tyreek Hill and then or Devontae Adams, and then I see Miles Sanders right there. So I
Well,
just.
if you're later in the first round, I could see it,
Mhm.
but that's risky. Out of those three, I would probably pick Miles Sanders, but it all depends who's on the board. Because somebody's going to do something ridiculous. Somebody's probably going to pick Tom Brady. Somebody will be there that shouldn't be there, and you could probably get them. They'll probably sleep on Miles Sanders. Unless you're in there
Well.
with a bunch of Philly fans,
Mhm.
then maybe not.
And the only reason why I'm going to take him in my first round, hopefully if he falls to me, which I think he will, is because I'm scared that if I don't take him first round, he's going second round, and someone's going to take him before me because someone's an Eagles fan in front of me in the second round. But I just like it because he said he's going to be MVP this year, so I think I was like, I'm going to ride with it.
Hey man. Well, I hope he does it. For my sake, I hope he does it.
Fingers crossed, right? But so what
100%.
what are your plans now? During quarantine and getting your life figured out. What are your plans now?
As far as in
Just
what way?
just life in general. Like what you want to ride with, like with jobs or with YouTube or NFL. Like what are your plans with stuff right now?
Right now, since it's the quarantine, I'm just focused on pumping out as many vids as I can because normally outside of quarantine, I work 9 to 5 like a normal person does, and my schedule is really tight. So I'm trying to take advantage of this time I have now to post as many videos as I can because I know when it ends, it'll probably slow down a little bit. But like I said, the main focus is 100K by the end of the year. And after that, we'll go from there.
That'd be so cool. So, what is your big goal in life to pursue? I don't like to say dreams. Dreams. I like to always say goals. My neighbor taught me that one a little bit, a couple years back. But what is your big goal in life?
I see really doing a bunch of things, but I think it's just starting off with this. So as I was saying earlier, if you have a big enough presence, you can go do anything. So whether I wanted to play football again, whether I wanted to be in a movie, whether I wanted to be a lawyer, there's so many things that I want to do and I feel like I can do, but it just starts with building the platform here. But obviously, as you would know, my biggest passion and motivation is helping as many people as I can. So whatever I do in my life, that'll be the forefront, and everything else will fall into place.
Hey, that's really cool you say that. In my previous episodes, I mentioned that as well. How if I was ever to get on a huge platform, it would be cool to get money and help people out and all. But at the end of the day, I always like to treat people with respect, and like my goal is every time you meet me, I always want to end stuff with a smile. End our conversation with a smile. I think that's
it's to impact somebody positively. Right.
Exactly, and I just love the fact that you could start charities, foundations. Like it's all such cool stuff. So I respect that you said that. That's really cool of you to do.
Sure. I mean, I feel like that's the purpose of living in general. That's, in my opinion, that's how you should live. That's what you should strive to do.
Yeah, you always got to give back. Never be selfish, and that's always show respect. That's what I always like to say, no matter what. But is there anything that you want to add to this episode that you feel I didn't really hit on at all?
I won't even take any time away from you. I know you said you had a bunch of questions, so if there's anything you missed, we can do like a speed round. You could just let them roll right now. So whatever you want to do, man. It's your dance.
I think we hit pretty good. We're hitting about an hour, so I know people probably aren't listening for an hour. So I gotta hopefully get that in tune. And once
it'll probably be edited down, cut down, anyways, for sure.
Yeah, we'll figure it all out. But where can people follow you? I mean, you always put on your videos, but where do you want people to follow you at?
Every social media I have is all at the same name. So I'm lucky enough to have that, but it's all iBxTheProdigy. Wherever Snap, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, it's all the same thing. So whatever they prefer, that's what they'll find.
Perfect. Well, I'll put a link in the description as well, and then also a link to your YouTube channel because that'd be really cool. So more people can follow you and whatnot. But yeah, we just went on a limb. Now you grab a branch, go grow this tree by being different and be yourself. Peace.